So just imagine yourself taking a big bite of a delicious, smooth, sweet piece of chocolate. And I'm talking about it just melts into your mouth. You'd probably wonder to yourself, like, wow, how is it so good? Like, what did it take for it to get here? And what a lot of people don't know is that chocolate actually comes from this really bitter bean, which comes from the cacao tree. And this bean is not tasty at all. But you can find these trees mostly in those tropical climates, such as West Africa. And when they harvest these beans, they need to go through many various steps before it goes from bitter to sweet. And what's surprising is that a lot of people regularly enjoy chocolate, but very few actually understand or know where it really comes from. So, by learning and understanding how chocolate is made, I think that it's not only going to help us to learn to appreciate it even more, but I think it'll just help us to get a better understanding of how the cacao beans go from that bitter, not tasty at all, to the transformation of it being that chocolate that we all know and love. So we're gonna check out where cacao actually comes from, how it's processed, and how it's even turned into that delicious chocolate within the factories. So let's start off with where chocolate even begins, which are the cacao farms. So cacao trees actually grow in tropical climates, mainly in countries like Ghana and the Ivory Coast. And what's cool about this is that these places produce over half of the world's cacao, which is pretty cool when you think about it. And according to Food Unfolded, cacao pods are usually picked by hand and contain beans surrounded by a sweet pulp. And after harvesting these beans, they are then fermented for a couple of days. And this step is actually very important because the fermentation actually helps bring out the chocolate's flavor, the aroma, and even the color as well of the chocolate. So, this is a very important step. So, now that we know where the cacao comes from, let's see how it's further processed. So once the beans are fermented, they are then dried in the sun to just reduce any of the moisture. And once that is done, they are then sent off to be sorted and roasted. And the company Dame Cacao actually explains to us that this step is also very important because roasting not only improves the flavor, but it also makes it easier to remove those outer shells. And once all of that is done, the beans are then cracked and they separate the nibs from the shells. And they then take the nibs and they grind it up and they turn it into this really thick paste that's called chocolate liquor. And the chocolate liquor contains both cacao solids and cacao butter. So now that the beans are processed, let's find out how they really transform and turn into that chocolate that we all know and love and buy. So the chocolate liquor is then refined through this thing called conching. I believe I said it right. And what this actually does is it smoothens the texture and then it's tempered to give it that really good shiny finish that we all know and love. And next gen process actually explains that tempering is the key to make chocolate not only feel right, but look right as well. So it basically just gives it that perfect look that we all like. And finally, chocolate is molded into bars, which are then cooled, packaged, and these machines, they wrap up thousands of boxes and bars like every single day. And Ayla Marika actually points out that the industrial process not only ensures the consistency of the chocolate, but it also ensures the quality as well. So now that we've seen how chocolate is made, let's wrap up what we've learned here. So chocolate actually goes through an interesting journey. It goes from tropical, you know, places, farms to factory shelves. And we've learned where cacao comes from, how the beans are processed, and how the chocolate is even made. And each step helps create that sweet treat that we all love and enjoy. Whether it's, a chocolate bar, chocolate milkshake, whatever it may be. So next time you eat a piece of chocolate, remember, the long trip that it took, that long process for it to go from that bitter bean to that delicious chocolate treat that we all know and love.